This is the Fort Knox of photo backup workflow. No, seriously, my buddy Will Carnahan, my co-instructor, is going to walk through his foolproof method of backing up his photos once he's done with a shoot. His, I will admit, is a little extreme, but it's probably one of the most secure ways and safest ways you can back up your photos and go to bed, sleep at night without worrying about them ever disappearing or not having backups. So check out this video, use some of the tips, use all of the tips. The important thing is to not leave it to chance and to have some sort of workflow for your photography to back up and make sure nothing ever happens. To back up and make sure you never have any disasters.
So what I wanted to talk to you about today was workflow. I've had a lot of questions where they want to know what exactly my workflow is as far as photo organization and saving files. So very quickly, I'm going to kind of go through my file saving and my workflow for that specifically. And keep in mind, this can be whatever you want it to be. I'm just going to tell you what my flow is, which you can copy, and it's redundancy, 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 to save space where you can, but also to be very, very safe with not only archiving photos, but operating in a workspace as a job. If you're doing this as a hobby, this may be a little overwhelming for you, or you may not need to do all these things. Maybe you can take 2 out of the 5 things that I do. But just keep in mind, everyone's workflow is kind of your own style and what you're doing for yourself. This is what works for me and what I feel mentally comfortable with. So let's talk about it. So we start with the camera, right? We're taking photos. They go onto my SD card. I'm shooting raw photos most of the time. Sometimes I'll do raw and JPEG so I can get the JPEGs to my phone and out quickly to my client. But most of the time, professionally, always raw. You can always edit more and stuff like that. So then the raw files that I'm shooting on my SD card, I come home and I plug them into my computer and onto my hard drives. Now for me, every year I buy a new hard drive. I actually buy 2 new hard drives, a main working drive and a backup drive. So the main working drive, I've actually moved over to solid state because I travel a lot and I'm moving from my desktop to my laptop. Not having those moving pieces in a traditional hard drive makes it move faster, it's safer, and that's why I've moved to that as my main working drive. My backup drive is a bigger, plug into the wall, consumer kind of bigger style hard drive that I back everything up on. And that drive doesn't leave my desktop. I just leave that like literally my desk. It just stays here and I don't move it. So RAWs go onto the working drive, the solid state, the backup drive, and then I take the from the regular drive, I call through the photos and I pick out my favorite photos, the ones I'm going to edit, and I upload those to a cloud service. I use Dropbox personally when I'm just doing regular weddings and events and stuff like that. When I'm doing headshots, I'll cull through those photos and pick out the ones that I want my client to choose from. And those I'll upload to Zenfolio, which is a client-based sort of program. So I'll use those as cloud storage. So now my RAWs, all my RAWs are on my main drive, my backup drive, they're still on my SD card, and my selected RAWs are up in the cloud. So now I've basically got them in 4 places. This is the point where I feel comfortable formatting my SD card. And I don't format my SD card until I go to my next shoot. The reason being, if some crazy thing happens, I don't want to format that card until the last possible moment when I need to format it, and that would be before my next shoot. So I have a tradition of when I do a new shoot, when I get on set, the first thing I do is I format my SD card, and I know that it's okay because I go through this process of uploading and downloading when I'm done with the shoot. So you just get into this routine so that you never have to worry about, did I format this, did I not format this, is this saved? Okay, so now we formatted the SD card because we were on a new shoot. The RAWs are my main drive, my backup drive, in the cloud somewhere. The selected photos are on the cloud. Now I edit, and I edit from my working main solid state drive. I've done all the edits. Now I export the edited JPEGs, and those are gonna live on my working drive, so I have them to upload places. And then I will also take those and send them to my backup drive, just a backup, and then I'll send them to the cloud. So now I have all 3 sets of edited JPEGs are now on my main drive, the cloud, and my backup drive in 3 spots. Now usually from there, I will pick my favorite photos. That's usually like 5 to 10, and I will send them to my phone. Now, the greatest thing about that is now they're on my phone. I can put them on Instagram. I can do what I need to do. But also, it's kind of a fourth random little backup. Now, sometimes it compresses depending on what phone you have, but it's kind of a nice little quick safety sort of backup. And now they're in 4 places. So my favorite photos are in 4 places. That's pretty wild. Like nothing is gonna lose them unless everything goes down in fire. And even then, they're in the cloud, so we're safe. At the end of the year, I will now retire the working drive and retire the backup drive usually. If I didn't use enough space on the backup drive, maybe I'll use it for the following year. But the real thing to do, what I like to do, is those 2 drives, one of them lives at home with me and the other one lives at a friend's house, a storage unit, my parents' house, Sam's place, Phil's place, somewhere where I know it's completely separate and physical, that won't be attacked or it's kind of in another place in case something happens here. So 2 hard drives where they're in 2 different places exist with all my photos from that year. And then they're up in the cloud still, as usual. And all my favorites from the year are already on my phone anyway. And the advent of cloud service with your phone is on Apple, at least. They upload to my iCloud anyway. So now they're in another place. So really at the end of the year, most of my edited photos are in 5 spots. My raw photos are in 2 full spots, plus the selected ones are in the cloud. So it's kind of foolproof, right? Like there are photos everywhere and I'm not worried. If I need to access them, I can. I keep them by year so that I know that I can go in past years, and it just keeps things fresh and keeps things moving. It leaves enough space on the hard drive so they're not bogged down. The main thing is there's a drive, there's a backup drive, they're on the cloud. I can access them at any time. And yeah, that's pretty much my workflow. In another video, I want to talk about how I actually organize them in Lightroom and how I organize them through when I'm editing or I need to cull through stuff based on the type of photography that I'm doing. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, friends.
I hope you enjoyed this tip, and as always, you can learn more creative skills over at videoschool.com. And if you are interested in any of our photography courses, any student that enrolls in a photo course gets invited to our private Facebook community with over 65,000 other photo students. It's great for learning tips, getting inspiration, asking questions, joining competitions, contests, all kinds of other cool stuff. So we hope you join a class and get in our community and help us grow. Anyways, have a beautiful day.